Today I'm going to talk to you about a principle in training horses that I call clear direction. I see folks, with their horses, and I think those poor horses are so confused. They don't know what it is the person is asking them to do. In fact, I think so many times horses look at us and they go, what is that human doing? Because we don't give them clear direction. Example, people trying to lunge their horse, and they come up to the horse and they're going to lunge the horse, and they kind of do this and they do that, and the horse just looks at them like he looked at me, like, what in the world are you doing? They have no idea what they're asking them to do. And so here's an example. If I'm going to lunge this horse, I teach all of my horses, when I point a particular direction, that means go that way. It's very simple, it's very clear. So I'm going to get his attention here, and I'm going to point this way. He needs to clear his shoulder out and go that way, okay, which he did not do very well. Clear direction, I'm going to look at his hip. He needs to yield his hip, point this way, clear direction, cluck to him, he needs to trot. The direction has to be very clear. Look at his hip, clear, point, go that way. And so you can see he knows this because I've done this thousands of times with this horse, and when I point with my hand that way, it always means go that way. It doesn't ever mean anything else. Clear direction means you have to use the same cue in the same way every time, and don't ever use that cue to mean anything else, or even to use it accidentally. Backing up would be another example. I teach my horses from the ground to back up, and I start off with just a little bitty wiggle of the rope, and that's very clear because I don't ever wiggle the rope unless I want that horse to back up. And if I wiggle it harder, he needs to back up harder and faster. It's very clear. I don't ever use it for the wrong thing. I don't ever use it in any other way. So now I'm going to saddle him up and show you a couple of things from the saddle on how to use clear direction. So now I have my horse saddled up, and I'll show you a few examples under the saddle of clear direction. It really doesn't matter what kind of cue you use. The ones I use are mostly the standard cues that we use here in the Western United States to train our riding horses. But you can use any cue you want as long as it's clear and you are consistent with that. So here's an example. This horse neck reins pretty well, and when I lay that rein on his neck, he knows it means to go that way. And it never means anything else. Every time I've ever laid that rein on his neck, it means turn like that. It never means anything else, okay? And if you use that cue consistently and you always do it the same way, you will always get that result, and your horse will be very clear about what you want. Here's another one. I'm going to move my horse around here. Stop word. I'm not saying that stop word right now because I'm not ready to stop. Because when I say that word, I only say it once. And I'm going to come in here and say, whoa. And he better stop. And I don't ever say that word when I'm in casual conversation and my horse is standing around me. Every time he hears that word, it only means one thing: stop, and do it right this second, no matter how fast you're going. And if you're consistent with those kinds of things, that's what I mean by clear direction. Always do the same cue, the same way, every time, and if you do that, your horse will understand exactly what you want.